Welcome back to Between Pages and Friends. I'm Con.
And I'm Lauren, and today we are discussing our April reads. But first, we have some super fun updates. The first is that we're on Patreon. Whoop, whoop. We started Patreon last month, and it has been such an incredible way to connect with all of you and just bring more bonus content and perks. It's just been super fun.
We love our Patreon members so much. Through our Patreon, you can join our Discord full of lots of other book lovers, seriously the sweetest people on planet Earth. We have ongoing buddy reads with us, Con and Lauren, live Q&As and book chats with all four of us, which includes our husbands, John and Kyle, and so much more bonus content to come.
One of the things we've been working on, I can't believe it's in the notes. We are in the process of starting a podcast. Oh my gosh, I said it. I can't believe it. We are doing like all the behind the scenes things to prepare, like getting new equipment that we need and preparing all the things we want to do. So make sure that you are following us on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe on YouTube so you get all the latest updates and announcements on that upcoming event.
Yeah, and speaking of announcements, this week we have new merch. In April, we designed and added over 50 new items to the merch shop, which includes 10 all new designs that will be on stickers. They're on embroidered and printed apparel. They're on things like this very cute little glass. We have mugs and tote bags and all kinds of stuff. So all of those things launch on Tuesday, April 30th. And we've just been so overwhelmed by your guys' excitement over this merch launch. We love when you tag us in your pictures and your videos. Please keep doing that. We love to share them.
And then one of my favorite things is like through our vendor, there's just so many options. So we write down all the suggestions and do our best to include everything that we can. So if you have any ideas, let us know and we will do our best to see if we can make it. So I think we're going to mention our favorite merch of the new merch drop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. My favorite design from this drop is the Valkyrie in Training 10,000 steps at a time design, and it is so cute. This is the glass that it's on, but I'm really excited to see it on the stickers. There's like all kinds of very cute stuff with this design on it, and I am obsessed with all of it. I love it. What about you?
Well, and my favorite thing about the Valkyrie sticker is that you made like 4 different options and our Patreon people voted. And
Yes.
so I was like really debating between 2, but I love the one that they picked. So I'm super excited about it. My favorite is from back in Valentine's Day when we made a joke about Azrael and we were like, dad ass though. And we turned it into a sticker and I've just loved it. And then you designed our Bat Boys fan club sticker. But part of our new release is including a Cassian sticker and a Rhysand sticker, and then updating our Azrael one. So we have this whole like Bat Boys sticker bundle, and I just think they're hilarious and super cute. It's just going to be so good.
I'm so excited to see them all in person. It's been a really incredible month over here. April was absolutely crazy. And right now we are celebrating over 63,000 followers on TikTok and 38,000 followers on Instagram, which is, I don't even know how to process that. Yeah, it's why we are just so incredibly grateful for your support, no matter where you're watching our content or how you're engaging with us. All of it is so incredible. So if you are watching us on YouTube, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well, because that's where most of the party happens. But we are just so grateful for you guys, and thank you for being here.
Yay! Okay, so we are here to discuss the books that we read in the month of April. This month, Connor read 4 books, right? And I read 5. We didn't read as much as normal, but I am still excited to talk about it. So I think I'll just kick us off since I read one more than you. Well, technically, okay, I say that. And then I get into this one, which technically we read together. So our Patreon is doing this like book club, and we were testing out a new way to book club together because usually Connor and I like to use the Storygraph app for buddy reads. We started using the Fable app, which I've really enjoyed. I think we
I
find
like it
pros
a
and
lot.
cons to both. And so we decided to read Icebound by Meredith Trapp. And I finished the book because I have never DNF'd a book before. And I gave it 2 stars. Con DNF'd the book. Life got busy. It wasn't the best book in the world. We saw so much advertisement for this book before it came out.
And the marketing was great.
Yeah, it was so good. And it was on Kindle Unlimited. I did really like the characters in general, like them as individuals. There was aspects of the story that were really cute. I love a good hockey romance. Like you can, I just feel like there's something about it that's forgiving because it's a hockey romance. If that makes sense. I struggled a little bit with some of the writing choices, I think is the best way to say that. Like that I was getting annoyed at because it was repetitive. Yeah. So for example, my biggest one, and I talk about it all the time, is that the lady had hazel eyes, which is great. And people talk about
Love
hazel eyes, whatever. Yeah. Lovely. She's beautiful. But the guy just kept calling them her hazels. When I look into the hazels, all I think about is her hazels. And I'm like, dude, just say her eyes. Like, I don't know why that was annoying to me. I think just because how many times it happened.
Yeah, it was. I don't think he ever actually said eyes. I think it was hazels every single time.
I know. And it was like the only feature of her that apparently he ever looked at.
Got lost in the hazels.
Those hazels, you know.
Get some evidence. Anyway. I mean, it happened so many times, even just up to that point. It was like, it was a lot.
It was a lot. But the one that I just could not stop laughing at is one of the like hockey players is a single dad and his daughter was eating fruit and she wouldn't eat blueberries. One of the other hockey players said, I'll totally eat a bloob for you. B-L-U-B-E. Bloob.
Spelled it. Bloob.
Totally eat a bloob for you. So Kyle and I now call them bloobs. They're not blueberries.
Yeah, I mean that could be on a Valentine next year.
You would eat a bloob for you? Oh my god.
It's getting so off the rails already.
Yeah, it is. There was a lot of miscommunication between the two main characters, but they like kept calling themselves out on it. Like they kept being like, we're not miscommunicators. They kept miscommunicating. So, I don't know. I didn't like hate the book. Like I obviously finished it. There are some books that I think about that I like literally am like, oh, that book, you know? So I still gave it 2 stars. It's not one that I'll probably recommend to everybody, but at the same time, other people probably love it. So that's just my opinion. But that was the first one, which was Icebound.
Yeah. So I definitely did DNF that book. I remember texting you and I was like, okay, I'm officially DNFing it. It's happening because I just got so far behind. I was like, well, if it's not going super great anyway. But I was listening to an audiobook at the time, which is my first book of the month. And that was Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. And my first note in our outline about it just says, I am a Josh Chen girly.
Yes.
I think that's the Josh Chen, apparently.
All right.
That's all we need. That's all it took for me to be super into the series. So this is book number 3 in the Twisted series by Anna Huang. And the first 2, I wasn't like super into. I think the first 2 were 3-star books for me, which I was really surprised by because I've seen like so much hype about these books on the internet. And there's like so many great like book boyfriend qualities, which like I liked the first 2 books, but everybody was like, keep reading, like you have to keep going. And I'm so intrigued by Christian Harper and I'm not at his book yet. So that has like kept me going. And I like the setup for the following books, how it's like different characters in the story. You get little previews of the side character and then it's their story next or whatever. So I am really enjoying the series and I'm really excited to read the 4th one, but it's not on my library app yet. So I'm still waiting for that.
Is the 4th one Christian's book?
Yeah, I think so. But I liked this one. This was 4 stars for me for Twisted Hate. I'm a big fan of Josh Chen. And that's all I have to say about that.
Right. Sounds good. The next book I read was The Kilt Trip by Alexandra Kiley. I was going shopping and I needed an audiobook because I just feel like if you're doing something and you have the opportunity to listen to an audiobook, you're like wasting your time. So before I went in the store, I was like, I have to find a book. So I just got on Hoopla and it was just a random recommended book based on my reading kind of a thing. The cover has a man in a kilt. And so I was like, okay, guess I gotta read it. In January, I just finished watching all the seasons of Outlander. And
this
so
makes more sense now.
So I've like always had like a thing for like Scottish accents. Like that's always been a thing. And Kyle like weirdly knows that about me. And he'll be like, hey, did you hear that guy? Like he's totally on board about it. Supportive husband. He's great. I just saw like literally the picture is just like the girl up on a hill kind of a thing. And then there's a guy in a kilt. And I was like, yes, I'm reading this. The story itself, I gave the book 2 stars. It was kind of hard to follow. The best part about it was the audiobook narrator's Scottish accent. That was about it.
That's what the second star was for.
For the audiobook narrator, whoever he is. And the girl, there was 2. The girl did a really good Scottish accent in her little like try to be a guy voice. So that was nice too. It was a cute little fluff read. It was really just the Scottish accent. That's all I got.
That makes sense about why you loved the video that was like, what if Rhysand from ACOTAR had a Scottish accent?
When I That's canon to me now. Like there's no, that's just is. And I need
Honestly, I
someone
love
to
it.
re-record the whole book, but with
Start
that
over.
accent.
Yep.
Yes, please.
I'm here for it.
Please. Okay, so our next book is the one that we read with our Patreon book club, which is the Featuring Book Club. And we let them all vote for a different book each month. So they picked Powerless by Lauren Roberts.
I really liked this book. I thought it was such a fun book club read. It's so easy to understand from the beginning. The world building is really easy to get into. It's a young adult fantasy, so it just was really, it was really fun and had this kind of swoon-worthy banter in it. I really loved Kai and Peyton, the two main characters together. All of their interactions were just so good. I was eating those up.
10 out of 10. Absolutely.
Yes, so cute. I think for me, it would have been 5 stars, but I think the pacing I was struggling with a little bit because the big events of the book were so spaced out. Like something really big would happen, it was crazy, and then 3 days have passed and nothing's really going on for a little bit. And so it skipped around a little bit in that sense, but overall, I did really enjoy the story. I'm so intrigued by the setup for the next book, and I'm like really excited to see what happens. I just wasn't quite as like fully immersed and like really hooked on the edge of my seat, sort of as I wanted to be. I think there was potential for the story to be like that, but I didn't really feel it.
For our like book club, we end it with like a big live event each month, and so I was doing a lot of research for like questions to ask and things like that. There's a lot of theories as to what's going to happen, and I would not have searched it if it wasn't for this book club. Even just like researching it afterwards, even more into the book than I think I was even just reading the book.
Yes. I will say there were a lot of like little things that it was really fun to go into Fable, and like other people had pointed stuff out that I had totally missed. And it just like totally changes things. So it's been a lot of fun following that with our book club this month and chatting in Discord about it and all that stuff. So I'm really excited for our live event to talk about it.
It's going to be a good one. So the next one that I had was Wildfire, which is the second in the Maple Hills series by Hannah Grace. You and I buddy read Icebreaker. I gave Icebreaker and Wildfire both 4 stars. First of all, I just like hockey romance. It's my second one of the month. But I also just really like this found family that they have, like this whole little team. I really like all the characters, but also having gone to summer camp, like literally every summer of my life. And so this is like a summer camp romance. I really enjoyed the aspect of it too, like the whole camp vibes. I'm really excited because my favorite character in the book is Henry, and he gets his own book and is coming out in August. So I'm very, very excited about that. But there are 2 things with these books that I have struggled with, or that just stick with me. The first is how the other book had bloob. In Icebreaker, she said, "Do you like chalk chip?" Because she was going to make him chocolate chip cookies. "Do you like chalk chip?" Like, why do authors do that? Like, do people actually say that and I'm making fun of someone out there? I've
never heard it.
Like, I'm sorry if you do. It just was funny to me to read. The other thing that I didn't write down, but I know I had texted you that I wanted to talk about. Are we the only people that think it's weird that every single time characters shower together, the boy washes the girl's hair? Are
every
we
time
the only people in the world that think that's the weirdest thing? Are we missing out that boys
missing out?
Haven't washed our hair? Like, is
this a thing that people commonly offer to do? Is this a common fantasy that a lot of women have? Is that why women write about it so much? I don't know.
I don't know, but anytime that characters are in the shower, the guy will wash her hair. Every single time.
Every time. And since we started talking about it, I notice it's in like every book.
It's even in like Fourth Wing, or it's in Iron Flame, or one of them. Like, it's in literally everything. I don't know if we're the weird ones. I don't think I would want someone to wash my hair. Like, I feel like I have my own routine and I know what I'm going to do. Like,
and
honestly, like
kids, a lot of my hair comes out in the shower.
Oh,
and it's like
that was relatable.
Long. I don't want somebody.
That hit hard. But also, like, a lot of times that the guy will offer to do it is because the girls had like a rough day or something's wrong. But like, if I've had a rough day, I'm like, don't touch me.
Yeah, let me take my own shower.
I'm really interested to see what everyone else thinks, if we're weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let us know. Oh my gosh.
All right. I'm going to settle in for this one.
From that, yes, my first note on this is settle in, ... Khan's about to gush about Emily Henry again.
Again.
And I am. Yes, this is not the first time and it won't be the last, because this morning at roughly 6:15 a.m., I finished Funny Story by Emily Henry. My toddler had woken up around 5 o'clock and she finally went back to sleep at like 5:30. And I was like, I'm not going to get back in bed. I'm just going to get up and finish this book because I could not stop thinking about it. I love this book so much. I want to be friends with these characters. I want to go to Barn with them and get wine recommendations from Miles. I want to visit the I know that doesn't make any sense if you haven't if you haven't read the book. I like typed it the way that it's spelled in the book. Anyway, I just want to like go visit the library where Daphne works and paint Ashley's room with her and go to poker night. I just loved everything about like I love the two main characters. I love their dynamic and their relationship and like all of their banter and conversations. Like Emily Henry's like the queen of banter and I always love that. But this was just like everything about this book was 5 stars for me. There was truly nothing that I didn't like about it. And I'm also not someone who like went on summer trips to the beach or the lake or had like a vacation home that I visited every year. But this book made me feel like nostalgic for that. I want to buy a summer house now. Not that I have any money to buy a summer house with, but if I did,
Let's do it.
business expense.
For real though, I want to be like the summer I turned pretty, where we're like the best friends who have a summer house together. That's like my
If
lifelong
cousins
dream.
existed,
We'd be there.
we'd be there in a heartbeat. So anyway, I love all of it. And I feel like that speaks to like how excellent the writing is because it's just like so immersive. And I just like couldn't stop thinking about it while I was, I can't stop thinking about it now. I texted Lauren today and I was like, I am typing paragraphs about this book because I can't stop. So anyway, on top of just the super fun characters and the classic like Emily Henry banter, I think what I love about this one so much is that these characters feel like real people. Like it feels like all of them have gone through years of therapy and they know a lot about themselves and they've like lived life experiences.
Jealous.
And it's I know, right? But they're supposed to be older. They're supposed to be like in their early 30s and these characters actually feel like they are. Like they have just really mature communication and they're realizing things about themselves. Like there's a lot of personal development and growth throughout the book, but it's just in a really organic way. And I just love how it's not they don't talk about therapy in the book or anything, but it's just I just love the way that like it's presented and they just learn things about themselves and they apply it. And it's like
That's nice.
I don't know.
That's refreshing.
It's just nice. Like, yeah, it is. And I feel like it's harder. Maybe it's because I'm about to turn 30. I don't know. But I just feel like I'm relating more and more to older main characters in books. But also it's just, I feel like it's harder to find books where that communication actually feels realistic rather than like super blown out of proportion. I don't know how to describe that. But anyway, I cried a lot reading this book, which is not something
like in a
I do
good
very
way?
often. Yes, in the best ways. I mean, in the best ways. Like I cried a lot. I laughed even more. So I kept saying while I was reading it, and I'm still not totally sure. I don't know if this is finally bringing me out of the reading rut that I've been in for a while, or if it's like sending me right back into another one because I feel like I'm not going to be able to top this book. But maybe if that's where I set my expectation, then whatever I read after will be fine. I don't know.
Last month, you were talking about the 7-year slip, and you were like, I think this is my favorite book. And I was like, ever? And you were like, maybe. And then this morning you texted me, and you're like, Lauren, I think this is my favorite book. And I was like, ever? And you're like, maybe. I was just cracking up.
All caps. But really, though, this is my favorite book.
Well, and then at the end of every year, we do like a little book bracket, like the best book of each month until we find out like our best of the year. And so Con was complaining that the 7-year slip and Funny Story would be like right next to each other.
In round
right
one. But Funny Story's going to win. Spoiler alert.
Well, there's that. You heard it here first.
I'll probably reread both this year and have the same problem all over again.
Yeah, but that's kind of nice. I started a reread today. I so rarely reread books, but I started a reread today with an audiobook.
Me too.
What are you reading?
Well, we'll get to it because I'm going to count it as an April read. I'll be done tomorrow.
Okay. My last book was one that has been on my TBR for like ever. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by, I'm going to say her name wrong, Saguna Mandana. I gave it 3 stars. It was just a really cute, I don't know, just a cute story. I think it was like marked as a romance, but it wasn't like the main plot of the book, which is really different for me because I'm usually just like all romance all the time. But something I really liked about it was that some of the main characters were children. So it didn't have like their POV, but like they were very heavily involved in the story. And so that was interesting and different. And they're like little like children witches. So like they're doing crazy magic and stuff. So that's kind of funny. And then the main male character was this kind of like quiet, kind of grumpy type, but like my husband's not grumpy, but like kind of grumpy type on the side, would just like pipe in with his things here and there. And so it just reminded me a lot of my husband in a way, because that's totally Kyle. Like, in case you guys haven't noticed, I talk a lot, and Kyle doesn't. And so it kind of like evens us out a little bit because I can say whatever I want, whenever I want. And he's just like pipes in here or there with his 2 cents. And he can be crazy and weird too, but typically that's not how it goes. And anyways, that was this like romance with this guy. So that was really cute. But I shared this one on our Instagram stories and somebody commented like, this is my favorite book of all time. And which is great. And I love that for them. It was not mine. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's just, that's kind of the fun thing about reading. And like everybody has their own different perspectives and whatever they read. This was also like a European book, like a European author, And so they would say certain phrases and things that I wasn't super familiar with, or I had to like actually think about like, what does that mean? Because it wasn't, it's, we're all speaking English, but it was like their own little phrases and their own.
Just cultural. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so maybe it was some of that, but I'm glad that they liked it. And I really liked it too. I gave it 3. It wasn't like, I don't know, like my favorite ever, but it was cute. And it was a different read for me. So,
well, my last one of the month, surprise, surprise, because I literally finished Funny Story this morning and I immediately started my reread on audio of Happy Place by Emily Henry.
Wow, I would have never guessed.
Yes. Yeah, I would just like wasn't ready to be done like with Funny Story. And I was tempted to just go back and immediately start Funny Story over again.
Are they the same world, or is it 2 different? Or like
no,
world,
they're not the
probably,
same world.
2 different.
Yeah, no, I mean they're not related at all. It's not like a series. There is a cute little shout out. They don't even say the name, but there is a little shout out in Funny Story to Beach Read, which was like one of her first books.
Interesting.
So they do like, she does like fun, like cute little Easter eggs in there, but yeah, they're not actually related at all, but I just wasn't ready to like leave the headspace. So I finished Funny Story at like 6:15 and then I just immediately borrowed Happy Place again from the library and I started that audiobook and I'm about halfway through it. So
wow.
I will be done with that tomorrow. And that's always
counts.
Yep, that's always 5 stars for me. This is actually my first reread. Like I had read it for the first time when it came out a year ago, and I've reread all of like her other 3 books since then. But this was my first like reread of Happy Place, and I just love them all so much. It is really interesting too to see like other people's rankings of like their favorites of her books specifically, because I've been seeing a bunch just because Funny Story just came out.
Yeah.
But I feel like my rankings are always different. Like people always rank People We Meet on Vacation as like their least favorite, but that's one of my favorite ones. Like that book made me laugh the most.
I like that one too. Yeah.
And usually Book Lovers is like people's, top spot. And I just saw one today where even after reading Funny Story, Book Lovers was still their favorite. For me, I think Funny Story is my top. Like that's my number one now. And Happy Place is probably maybe tied for second with Book Lovers. I do love that one.
I like
but
that
like
one too. That was my first of hers.
They all feel like so equal in my mind. Every time I've been reading one, I'm like, this one's my favorite. And then I start another Emily Henry book and I'm like, no, it's this one. This one's my favorite. I do it with every single time. So now I'm like, I don't know, Happy Place might be my favorite one. But then if I start Beach Read over again, I'll be like, no, this is my favorite.
Like just Emily Henry is your favorite.
She's my favorite. So they're all 5 stars. So
well, that's it. We did it.
That's it for April. Yeah.
I can only imagine how long these will be when we are actually reading like 20 something books.
Well, it might be shorter because we'll just be like, and I read this one, and I read this one, and then we'll just fly through it. Maybe. Or maybe we'll talk for 6 hours. Yeah. Probably not.
I don't know. I talk a lot, remember? Anyway.
My husband's actually very quiet too. It just doesn't seem like that probably to people on the internet because I only leave in the parts of the videos where he's talking and I make him, I don't make him talk. I wait. If I'm silent long enough, John will speak. You just give him something to talk about, like the book. And then I just wait, or I just ask him questions and then I just wait for him to talk. So anyway, but if you meet John in person, he is very quiet. Anyway, so that's it for our April reads. We do want to talk about a few of our anticipated releases for May that we're excited about. The first one is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This comes out on May 14th. And the little excerpt from Goodreads says, Christina Lauren returns with a delicious new romance between the buttoned-up heir of a grocery chain and his free-spirited artist ex as they fake their relationship in order to receive a massive inheritance. I just love Christina Lauren. They come up with like the goofiest scenarios and it's always like so good.
I weirdly love fake dating. Like that's a trope I enjoy. So
yeah.
Also, I love Christina Lauren because that's another like bestie duo. We are also CeeLo.
Christina Lauren goes by CeeLo, but we're Connor and Lauren.
So we're basically them. but poor. We're off brand.
Wish Christina Lauren.
Timu Christina Lauren. I feel like it's only right that I talked about 2 hockey romances this month for me to also be excited for next month's hockey romance, which is The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. She has written like a lot of popular hockey romances like The Deal and The Graham Effect. I have had all of her books on my TBR for like 200 years.
Me too.
I haven't read a single one because just life. I had like this weird thing where if I'm really excited about the book, I want to like physically either have the book or like read it digitally. And then if it's just like a whatever kind of book or a reread, then I'll do the audio for like a different perspective on something if it's a reread. But so like this is one that I've always just like waited to have digitally, but then that like never happens for me. And so it just hasn't happened.
I have The Deal on my Kindle. Like it's on Kindle Unlimited and I have it saved on my Kindle. It's been on there forever. Yeah, let's buddy read.
And all of our
It's been
free
on
time.
there forever. I know. With our book club read and our other buddy read and the podcast read.
The podcast read. I'm so excited.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. The last one I have on our list is Savor It by Tara DeWitt. That rhymed and I didn't mean for that to happen.
Maybe she did.
Maybe she did. Savor It comes out on May 21st. I have only read one other Tara DeWitt book. I read Funny Feelings last year and I loved it so much. I think that was a 5-star read for me. So I've been really looking forward to reading some more of her books, and Savor It is her new small town summer rom-com. So that's like totally my vibe right now. And I'm really looking forward to that one.
Cool. I think we did it.
Sweet.
Sweet. Good job. Go team. Make sure you are subscribed here on YouTube. Follow us over on Instagram and TikTok. You don't want to miss anything. We have exciting things happening. Check out our website, betweenpagesandfriends.com, for all of our new merch, or check us out over on Patreon and be our friend over there. Also on our website, you can see our links page, which will have links to our Amazon store, our Goodreads, and our Storygraph links, and you can be our friends on there. So yeah, check in, connect with us. We'd love to hang out with you.
Yeah, here on YouTube, we will continue to post our monthly reading wrap-ups with the 2 of us. We'll be adding some compilations of our videos from social media as well. And then very, very soon, we will also be sharing our podcast episodes on YouTube and anywhere else that you listen to podcasts. So yeah, that is the craziest thing I think I've ever said.
Yeah, it is.
And we wouldn't be here doing any of this without you guys. So thank you for all of your support as always and for reading with us.
And if you can't tell already, we love our Patreon members. We've talked about them so many times. So we are going to give them all a shout out really quick right here. It's in the hearts. So
is it working to record?
Yeah, it did. It just did it. Why is yours working and mine's not? I also love you. That was my hearts. Oh,
that's for you, Patreon. Bye-bye now. You too.
Is that our sign off? Bye-bye.
Like lounge music starts playing in the background. Bye-bye now.